YouTube, digging about in some of my old guitars. Trying to scratch this itch that I need another guitar, which I totally don't. I keep this. Obviously, this is jpax number 14. Number 14. The stamp didn't work very well on it. It might be 15. No, it's 14. Yeah. So this is a Washburn Raven. You know the Washburn Wing series as. First there was the Hawk and the Falcon, which are this one, which is a more expensive one. This is through neck. And see that made of fancy woods and wooden truss rod covers. I suppose it's kind of like a Yamaha SG, but I think prettier. So this is the Hawk. The Falcon was the more expensive one, which had push-pull collar splits, which this one doesn't have, and fancier fretboards and like a rosewood fingerboard and a 5-piece neck through. Basically just a slightly fancier version of that. And then after a couple of years of that, was sort of 78, 79, 80, something like that, they brought out a more expensive one, being the Eagle, which was just even fancier, basically the same as a Falcon but with more binding and stuff like that on it. And they brought out a cheaper one, a bolt-on neck Raven. This one is an 81, so I think it was 1980 and 1981 they made it, because this is a later Raven. The earlier ones had poor tuners, and these ones this has the proper, I assume, Gotoh built George Washburn ones, the same as the ones that are on the expensive ones. These pickups are not the same pickups that are in this, but they're Gotos, as in Goto, and according to the guy at Yamaki, Hiro-san, it was a spelling mistake. It was meant, they are made by Gotoh with an H, but they just didn't put an H on this type of pickup. So there you go. So it's kind of like it's also got a different bridge to that's similar. So you get like a sort of hardtail bridge with the brass saddles that's through strung like a Telecaster. I just made this back plate for it. I went a bit mental with the. I don't have switch cleaner. I need to order switch cleaner. Stuff like that's just going to happen with all my guitars now. I went mad with the slug tape, the copper foil. So I totally mechanically shielded this, because when I got this one back, this one, actually this is a second one, this one I bought as a husk. So this one has a mahogany body, and it was obviously red at some point, but when I got it, it had been sanded, so I fully sanded it and then jpaxed it. And then my Raven, which was a maple one, ash one, it kind of looked a little, someone had sanded it down. The wood's not spec'd for these, so basically the Yamaki just got in, made of whatever kind of wood was available at the time. So this one is mahogany though. The necks are mahogany. It's also, as you can see, it's got a funny neck join, as in the neck joins in away in here, so there's no heel sort of thing. So the neck joins actually in below this pickup. Kind of mad. It's just a way of getting it in there. It's got a carved top as well. But I think there is actually a video of me, if you go back a good while, where this was my I found it's by far the easiest one to play, and the one that I wasn't scared of. Unlike these that one's not too bad, but the Falcon and the Eagle are very, you kind of feel not worthy to play them because they're too fancy. This one's a bit, and they're very heavy. This one's a bit lighter. It hangs slightly better on a strap. Putting the ridiculous paint job on it, it's just made it so much better. So I gave this was the plan, was to get this gen to paint this very early on. You know, it's only number 14 or whatever it is. It's definitely a 4. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, right now, all the parts came off my Falcon, my Raven. So all these parts are not from this guitar and deck, are separate. Everything else is original. Yeah. So although it looks like it's been super heavily modified, it's basically been painted. Even the neck bolt plate is from my one. The only thing is the back plate, which I have lost. I'm sorry, Jen, I don't know how far into this I'm going to talk. I'll have a jam first and I'll show you why I'm actually doing this video. So I had a wee bit of a changeover on the pedal board. My pedal board used to be right to left. I'm not going to look at it so it doesn't put me off. It used to be from the right to the left. It was the Fender tuner, which I always complained about because it had blue lights for when it was not in tune, but it was a red light when you were in tune. Plus the switch on it was a bit crap. Then I went into the Joyo British sound amp. Then it split and went to the bass amp, but then the guitar side went to the Joyo British sound, so I was using it as a sort of light distortion thing. It's an AC something, kind of like an amp simulator, an amp pedal sort of thing. And then I had my rat pedal, and then I had the twin note Pi fuzz, which I kind of using as my Black Sabbath pedal. It's kind of it's kind of like it's got like a scooped mid thing, which is quite good. So it's more my heavy metal pedal. Then I had the wee Delamo fuzz, which I really loved. Never didn't end up using it very often. And then the Memory Man delay and the reverb, the Moore reverb. So I had 7, and I've rearranged it. I've managed to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've managed to get 9 in now. So I'm back onto my original old tuner, which is just one of the wee Rowan ones. You can get them on Temu or AliExpress for like 11 quid or something. That one, you can see it working there. Just gives you a big letter and it's good and it's dead accurate. I rate it. Then I'm going to the TC Spark, giving that a shot. Depends which one I'm using. Then I've got, this was kind of like because of the colour. So we had the Spark, which is kind of white with brown writing on it, and then we've got the Rusty Fuzz, which is brown with white writing on it. Then we've got the L Campbell, which is white with brown writing on it. Then we've got my new rat pedal, the Delamo Vintage Distortion, which is brown. And then I've got US Dream, which is just like an overdrive pedal. Then I've got a chorus pedal in, a Bellcat chorus. And then I've left the memory toy in because I don't really use it, and I kind of want to try and force myself to use it. And then the reverb. And I've also ditched the foot switch for the dirty channel in the amp, because I was getting fed up with the fact that in order to get the foot switch to work, you had to have the foot switch plugged in and then have the clean and dirty switch, which is there, set to dirty, and then when you turned it on, it was invariably on dirty mode, and then you had to stomp on it, and then it stayed on dirty mode, then you had to stomp on it again to make it go into clean. So, and it wasn't really that easy. It's actually quite easy just to do that if I really want dirty, so I'm not. It's just because I found the foot switch and I went, oh, I got that with that orange amp. The guy said it didn't work and I made it work. I just remembered that. I met him at Brayhead, actually. Yeah. But so this guitar, I did do a mod on it, so it's got the original pickups, and it's all been super shielded now, and that's a dodgy input. Yeah, no, my thought was the Faraday cage, because that's a conductive piece of metal. I figured if I lined it with foil, it's basically like a metal box, which actually these things have inside them. They've got like, kind of like a tobacco tin type thing that all the electrics sit in. So it's like, if you imagine the lid is inside. I'm actually going to maybe have to do that at some point, just for the sake of it. I quite like that idea of making a... Actually, I've got a wee pile of boxes that Jen got at a car boot sale. No, the idea of having a Faraday cage, like, why not just have it, like put the lid of like a tobacco tin, put all the pots, drill through it, put all the pots and stuff in, and then you can just put the back of the box on it, which will shield it all. Yeah, might do that someday. Anyway, so as standard, just the neck pickup and bridge pickup, and I've added a switch. So neck humbucker, bridge pickup. But this is a dual coil choice switch, so it's in the middle. I quite like. The reason I use this one is because of the wee white tip on it. I quite liked it. And the knobs, I don't know. I'm not sure the double cream pickup sounds are maybe a bit much, but maybe not. Jen was not happy painting this because I didn't want her to paint the neck, because the Raven I had already been sanded down, so I actually printed out, my pal David printed out a Washburn logo for me, and I just, like a water slide thing, stuck it on. It was a Washburn guitar, so I didn't feel I was fooling anyone. I wanted this one to be red, so Jen didn't like being limited to red because she hates red, so it's a very rare red jpax. They're really... I might be wrong, but I don't think there's any like this. Although I still think it might be the best one. It's the only one that looks like this. It's also something to do with the wood. It's bare wood. This is pretty textured. I didn't really sand it very much. It also might be one of the very first ones that's actually got a jpax like cartoony logo on it. I don't think they were on the original ones. Yeah, so if you push this down, you get this coil. If you pull it up, you get that coil. So you pull it up, you get the other coil. Same with the neck pickup. Well, the neck pickup's the other way around. It's down for this one, I think. And then up for the other one. Yeah, it's the inside. I kind of like this concept for just knowing what difference it does actually make moving the pickup. So basically these two coils will both be the same. So what does it sound like if you have it there or if you have it there? This is there. And this is in the full neck. So look at it. Oh, I can adjust it. Amazing. I've got the thing I always say I like having, a 3-pole adjustment thing, so that this is actually not sitting at the right level. If I just bring that one down, bring that one up a little bit, I can make it so they're a bit more even. None of this stuff got adjusted. I was busy doing something else when I got this guitar back, so I literally took all the stuff off my Raven, put it on this, tuned it, and then left it. There was an issue that one of the wires had, the wire that was running this extra coil wasn't working, so I fixed that. And then just kind of forgot about it. I had other guitars coming in, so like maybe something like that was number 42, so it was before that. So neck. I think this might be the guitar. These pickups were not splittable as stock. Well, they only had 2 wires coming off them. Was it these ones? I think it was these ones. Basically, when you go to take it to bits, there's actually a terminal there you can just solder onto to get the extra wires. It's like pure super easy. You don't need to cut any wires in. Like you just peel off the tape and you go, oh look, there's like a wee lug on the side of the thing that's just not used. You're like, all right, you solder an earth wire onto that, and then you get your coil splitting. But I mean, these, I don't know, is this better than the Gibson Les Paul I've got? It is. It's a fairer fight. There's no point in putting a Les Paul up against these. They don't have, it doesn't have anything to fight it with. Whereas this does, and this is being a sort of cheaper one. To be honest, it's the shape that does it for me. I've actually got the Scavenger bass, which is the bass version of this. Not painted up, maybe get it painted up, and the Vulture bass, which is the neck through one like that. But basically, in the middle position, that's where all the action's at when you get to it. Especially, I mean, the number of sounds that this guitar does is pure ridiculous. Considering all it's got is this one extra switch, which is dead easy to use. You just have it in the middle, and you've got 2 humbuckers like you meant to. But when you're in the singles, but what I'm not used to, which you get in this, is I've got a volume control for each pickup. So I can turn down the treble with that one. and that's just that's the outer coils. So this is the inner coils. You take away a wee bit of the bass by turning off the... To be honest, see if I can find another one of those, another one of these switches. I might put another one down there, which just, rather than having both pickups controlled with the same toggle, have a separate one so I can have humbucker in the bridge and single coil in the neck. Because I mean, this guitar's a keeper. I should have a guitar that does lots of sounds. Most of my guitars don't. Normally I tend to sell them, the ones that I put lots of sounds in. But just having the... Because I mean, I think that's the art of the getting good sounds out, like a Les Paul and stuff like that, which I can't be bothered. But I should do, but don't. You know, mixing, using the tone controls and the volume controls. You know, they're there for a reason. It's like, it's kind of like its thing. Why would you? I mean, how often do you actually use? Well, for me, anyway, I'm quite happy just to have the telly with the volume and the tone. Listen, we messed up some of my new pedal board then. So the Rusty Buzz, I'm going to need to get used to the TC electronic pedals, because the button, although it is true bypass, it's like a digital button, and it's not a mechanical button, it doesn't click. So when you stomp on it, on a normal pedal, it's like on. You know, you stomp on it and it's on, whereas this one, you stomp on it and you let go and it's on. So as long as I just go up and go dunk, it doesn't make a difference. But I have a tendency to go, ah! Do you know what I mean? But I have to not do it. Bridge humbucker. This one just never really did well in my first shootout. I do like it though. It's kind of... Actually, I was wondering if the spark pedal might be able to do something with it. These are all... I did have a mess about with these a little bit earlier, getting sounds out of them, but obviously infinitely variable. And as I said, that the order was dictated by the fact it went white, brown, white, brown, white, brown. Campbell, which I think is a sort of tube screamery thing. It didn't do well in my shootout to try and find the best sort of slightly driven sound. So I was trying to find something that was between clean and rat pedal. So this was one of the pedals I think my pal Ian gave it. I need to check the tuning again. Oh, this tuner's so much better than that stupid fucking Fender thing. I was brand snobbed into it. I thought, oh, Fender tuner and it looks cool, but sod it. You got one that works. Yeah, so we're running a sort of, that's clean and single coil modes. There, Campbell. It kind of leaves the sound the way it is, but puts a wee bit of behind it, which I quite like. Humbucker. still play chords, like pick chords, and you can hear the individual notes. Spark. And that's the spark on fat mode. And then my new rat pedal, which it seems to be a little bit more heavy metal. It's got the noise of the rat as well. It seems to be a little bit more heavy metal than the rat. And then the US Dream, which is again just one I wanted to use. It's meant to be is it a clone of a Sir Riot? I quite like the way it's a Joyo US Dream, so it's a joyous dream. I've just got it set for a sort of a bit less distortion than the rat, but similar sort of thing. Spark. I have no idea how to use chorus. Don't touch it. That's just that El Campbell pedal with the spark going into it. That El Campbell pedal might be something I'm interested in maybe using a little bit more of. Seems pretty good. I do like the TC Electronics stuff. I think maybe a wee bit brand thing as well, but I'm saying that chorus is a Bellcat. That was when I decided I was gonna. I bought a phaser pedal, so I didn't just have a rat and a tuner. So I bought a phaser. It was just because it was a tenner. It was 15 quid. And it's very rarely you see pedals for that cheaper. I never used to. I just bought it and it was only had one knob, and I was like, I actually quite enjoyed messing about with it. So I thought, I'll just see what the other things are like. And there was a guy in Edinburgh. I went and bought it off as a young guy, and I think I paid 20 quid, and I got those Bellcat pedals. In fact, I got the Fender ABY pedal was in that lot. It was cheap. It was a few years ago, pre-COVID. And I got a compressor, a chorus, a vintage delay, and tremolo. So I get 4 of those Bellcat pedals, and just to see what they were all like. And I used to have them actually sitting up, which I was kind of thinking of doing again. I used to have a shelf here with like a loop pedal, like I don't mean a looper, like a true bypass loop. So I could have on all these other pedals and I could mess about with them, but I never ended up doing any of that. And what I'm thinking of doing now is maybe having a featured pedal that maybe sits here. I can do a different one every week. I can actually just sit and, once I've got something, a semblance of something I like down here, just mess about, just try different things, just for the sake of it. I do like that El Cambo though. Having like a fuzz pedal in it, it's like sitting there trying to find the difference. If you pretty much stick any of the pedals in, any of the guitars into the fuzz, within reason they all sound the same. You find me doing a lot of that with quirky guitars, like ones that are, sort of maybe 60s, 70s Jack White type things. You really want fuzz pedals. I'm thinking that the booster thing might be good for that, is to get like a shit guitar sounding alright. Oh, there's one thing I wanted to check before I went on. I think Jen's well given up by now, so I can show you what I was actually going to show you in this video. The reason I've cut a backplate for this. As I thought, yes, 25-inch scale. So, the same as these, and the Paul Reed Smith invented the 25-inch scale like 5 years after these came out. I think acoustic guitars were that scale, but as far as electric guitars go, the Washburn wings were 25. I didn't know about that. So the Raven only lasted, I think it's 1980, 1981, possibly 82, and then it was replaced by one. Well, Yamaki went under, so no longer Yamaki. There's one that replaced it called a T-Bird, which is kind of the same thing, apart from I don't think it had the carved top on it, and it was a bit cheaper. And but once you get onto say 85, there was one that had like the knobs were 3 in a line instead of 4 in a square. I think the pickup selector might have been here. Kind of mad. It's very similar to that Yoshi guitar which has been kicking about, which I should have brought through for the video as well. The Raven. Well, it's exactly the same bridge, very similar pickups, and a similar sort of vibe. A competitor to it. I mean, it's also got. It's a different factory. I mean, I think these were made out of, according to the guy from Yamaki, just shite wood, but they were still made at Yamaki, and then they made the necks, but the bodies were just cut out of whatever they were. So, but you're still making it well. It's just that they're not specking. I mean, they're looking at that. Remember, at Yamaki, this is the cheap one. That's the wood that the cheap one's got. It's like, I don't know if you can really see the depth of the ash. And it's like, yeah, so that compared to that, these are not that. It's just mahogany. It's fine. Yes, so as I was talking earlier on, I'm now thinking this is now my Raven. But the Raven, the parts of this were on my Raven, which was, I said this one was mahogany. It was some other kind of wood. Solid wood though, but it kind of looked like, you know, those wooden toilet seats you used to get in the 90s? Like sort of IKEA pine kind of looking toilet seats. It looked like that. It didn't, as I said, the neck had been sanded. So where that is now is, here is my Raven. I don't know if you're going to get the impact of it. See, the light worked really well for that one. It didn't work really well for this one. Yes, so this is my Raven. It's actually lighter than that one. This is the one with the neck that was all shaved down. Jen knows I've got this. I've had it for about 6 months. I could never find a neck plate that fitted. I don't know what so it's got brand new modern tuners. It's got one of those bridges, which is kind of like a similar sort of idea. It's still strung through. As you can see, this has actually got a Raven on it. Yeah, the light works there. No, I can't do the thumbnail because Jen doesn't know about this. Yeah, so there's the Raven. And that's why I was making the back plate, because one of the things Jen's like, I need a back plate for it, so I gave her the back plate off my Raven, and she painted it, and I drew round that onto a piece of that aluminium plating in the garage and wrote Raven on it, and it's been sitting in the garage for 6 months, and I can't find the back plate, so I had to cut out another one, so I just cut out 2, so this has got like a metal plate on it as well, but this one does exist, and I keep seeing it, I just can't find it. It'll show up at some point, so if anyone does buy this, this will be a more premium guitar though, obviously. It's got an Ibanez from a single pickup RG, and this came from a parts box. I see this one, but this guitar neck used to be mine, so the frets have all been done, so it's playing like an absolute dream. That one's not quite there, but just because I haven't spent the correct amount of time on it yet. Yeah, so this one, no fancy switch on it because these pickups aren't splittable, so just Les Paul layout. And again, there is a back plate that goes with this. It's in here somewhere. I will find it. I'll find it as soon as I give the guitar back to Jen. So I suppose I give it see how the modern pickups do. I've only played this for 5 minutes, so it might not stay in tune for very long. It's also got those Orphe strings on it. Oh, that sounds quite different, doesn't it? These strings are terrible, these Orphe ones. So I do feel a wee bit bad the way that of all the jpax guitars that are going out there, I've not had a new one for ages. Kinda, I think I might be thinking about a Telecaster of some description. But I'm trying to find an excuse to get a Telecaster. I was thinking about a pair. Yeah, I'll put one of those the £3 humbuckers in the neck, and it's like, I thought, I've got one with a humbucker and a single coil, so not that one. I've got one with 2 humbuckers. I've got one with 2 single coils, P90s. Maybe get P90s in it. But all the expensive built jpax guitars is kind of mine. I've got the Ibanez. I've got the Raven. Well, the wee red bass, I suppose, doesn't really count as an expensive guitar. But this one, so here's like a premium one. This will be significantly more expensive than the other ones because it's already starting off as an 80s guitar. The bridge, it's just perfect. It's just the same. Now, these are cheap bridges, but I mean, it's solid and awesome. I would, if I was buying this, I don't, Jen likes these black EMG looking pickups. I'm not a fan. They sound great, but I don't know. Anyway, so here you go. World first time exclusive. No one's ever seen the jpax. Well, obviously Jen's seen it when she painted it, but she's not seen it as a full guitar. Like and subscribe.